industry. I was secretly doing women's hair in my Salon del Garage when, the salon was closed down. I was taking my friends and family. My girls didn't go gray. If anything, I have the most TikTok content from the pandemic because I had the most clients.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan, best-selling author, speaker, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. Today's episode, I get to interview Camille Estrada. She is in the beauty industry. She's an incredible makeup artist. She's part of the Dining Divas Empire. She's going to talk about her journey and how to create income as a makeup artist, what you need to do, some myths that you might not understand. And then we're going to dive into her passion project and talk about autism. Definitely want to check out this episode. Hi, Camille. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast.
Hi, Angela. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've got lots of very interesting topics. You have incredible experience. I would love for you to kind of start off first. How did you get into the beauty industry?
So I did hair and makeup for a living, and I started working with photographers. I figured to grow my portfolio, what better than to work with experienced photographers, get beautiful pictures. I charged them a small amount of money, just a kit fee, in exchange of, it's called Trade for Pics, TFP. And then, so I got into the studio, I got professional photos, but then I got access to models, influencers. We're talking all kinds of branding, redoing people's websites. And so I was able to put hands for hair and makeup on people with a huge following, and it helped build my credibility in the community. And it also helped build my following. And I was able to build a portfolio and just work and learn a lot behind the scenes, behind the camera. So my advice to women that maybe don't want to work behind the chair, their dream is to freelance makeup, they don't know how to go about it, and they're working at a department store, is to start freelancing. Do your friends, do your families, reach out to the photographers that you admire and get in there, get those professional photos, and they will solicit you.
I love that. So it's like trading your skill set with someone else's skill set, but helping each other while doing it.
That's exactly. Awesome. And you have these tangible, I have these pictures, I look back to 2011 that they can't take away. Music videos, Miami, we had a Mercedes-Benz swim week, so many things that I just kind of got in, kind of like a hobby.
Yeah. And you've had a chance to work with some incredible people. I mean, getting into that type of industry seems like it would be extremely difficult. But when you put in the work and you have the right connections with the right people, it sounds like that's kind of how you really grew your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, because obviously I've always been a spectator of some of the things that you've been able to do behind the scenes. Obviously, real people, that you get to work with. What are some things that maybe surprised you when you're working in the industry, like behind the scenes?
Well, Pitbull, for example, he expressed so much humility. He does have a star persona to him. He does have that star quality. And Kimani Marley, he's one of Bob Marley's youngest sons. He also had a star persona. There was in the Spanish industry, Tito el Bambino e Chino. They've all, at the level of professionalism, and they would literally seem like they were cutting it up with you. Like they were just one of us. If you come in, dress professional, you put yourself together, you're on time, and you're actually, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you're on time, you're professional, and you're there to do your job. And the last client is as important as the first. And you show them that level of, you're hitting every single bullet. You look the part. You watch your words, you watch your language, right? We want to be professional, you want to be yourself, but you also want to present yourself in a business environment, and always keep that level of business, even though we're doing hair and makeup and we're doing a music video and there's video vixens, and it seems like you can kind of lean back a little bit and just chill. At the end of the day, you are the hired help, and you still want to keep that level of professionalism. So these celebrities, when they see that, I mean, they just relate to you. And I've realized, especially Pippo himself, he was so gracious and so kind. And you can kind of tell because of all his the work he's doing with the children in the charter schools in South Florida.
Yeah, he seems to be someone who gives back a lot to the community, and which has obviously helped him as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've never worked in Hollywood or any of that, so I'm still probably one of those people that get fan struck, I guess, starstruck when you see a celebrity. But like you said, you're coming to them from a professional environment and with professionalism, and so they treat you like a professional because you're not that crazy fan just being like, oh.
Right, you want to take a picture with them, but you still respect their space, respect their time, and they know you want a picture, and they'll give you, if you give them that space and time, they'll tell you, take a picture. I remember at the end of the set when they saw me working so hard in Tito, El Bambino, y Chino, and they were like, come, come. He even took my sister, who was my assistant, and told her, come, take a picture. And so they know how valuable that is to share that on your social media and also give you credibility in the industry. Like, look, I'm a celebrity hairstylist and makeup artist, and these are the people I work with. And pictures are tangible. It's not just on a resume that I put there, and they can see it for themselves. They can see the work. So I'm telling artists that if you want to go out there, start working with photographers and videographers, because that is going to be your bread and butter, because they're actually doing hair and makeup Monday through Thursday when no one else is getting their hair and makeup done. They're doing photo shoots and they're shooting videography throughout the entire week when it's quiet.
Yeah. And you're also part of the Dining Divas network, which I absolutely love because it's a group of women. You guys are empowering each other. How did you get started and why did you decide to become part of the Dining Divas?
Again, a perfect example. I was in makeup school and I went to school with a girl that was creating a dress for the owner and producer, Christine Curran. And she told me, I'm creating a dress for her. I would love for you to do her hair and makeup. I did her hair and makeup so long ago. Her daughter was about 8 years old and she was dancing in a warehouse. And so she was part of Fort Lauderdale Entertainment and the Jello Shot Girls. She had a huge business at the time. And because I did her hair and makeup at that time, years passed and the opportunity came again. I worked again and we became best friends after that. And we've been able to work both professionally and personally. We raised our children together. So by doing these works that maybe you're like, oh, I'm not getting paid a lot, but it's a lot of exposure. Not everything. Yeah, there is monetary benefits, but there's also sometimes there's a contact, a connection, like you're only one connection away that opens so many doors for you and financial opportunities by taking something small. You just scored yourself a job for life. And now it's the Dining Divas, the Destination Divas, and essentially it's the Dining Empire because they're global.
Yeah. And I love what Christine's doing too, just watching her and how hard she works, but yet how much she still gives back to the community as well. So for the audience that's watching us right now on video, you have some incredible products behind you. I will tell you, when it comes to beauty and products, I'm like the least knowledgeable person. I have to go to someone else to help me. But let's talk a little bit about the background of the products and then just talking about luxury products in general.
So what's so great about Hair Bar NYC, they were originally established in New York and now they're expanding to Florida as well and nationwide. So they just got involved with the Dining Divas in New York and they're going to be featured in New York Fashion Week. And so we're going to be flying there next week for that. But what's so great about these products is that they're luxury. I mean, I have keratin, vegan keratin with no formaldehyde for my sensitive scalp girlies that have maybe highly damaged hair or very fine, brittle hair. And so I have keratin treatments. That's what I have on my hair now. So it's been raining a lot in Florida. Yesterday it was pouring, today as well. And the only reason why my hair is pinned straight, because I do have curly hair, is because I did a diamond Botox. Now for you, I recommend the diamond Botox. It's a deep conditioning treatment. It doesn't have any harsh chemicals in it and actually promotes hair growth. So if your hair is color treated, it's dull, it's over processed, and that's why they call it a diamond Botox, because it revitalized the youth of your hair. So I have products anywhere from the shampoos and conditioners and the mask and even the developers for our hairstylists. So we want to cancel out the really orangey blonde and we want to get that platinum frosty blonde. And in order to do that, I have purple developer, not just purple shampoo because that washes out. I have purple developer, purple bleach, and I even have purple mask. So for our blonde girls, It's unbelievable the amount. That's another thing. I took this opportunity. That's an example where I took an opportunity for a small hourly wage plus commission, and it opened up a massive door for me. That just don't close the door to opportunity, because maybe not that person, but the one that you get in contact by taking that opportunity, it could change your life indefinitely.
I absolutely believe that too, because sometimes you have to kind of start not, from the bottom and just learn. And, you instead of going to college or paying for a degree, you're still getting paid for the job, but you're making relationships and you're learning more information that's just going to help further your career.
Yeah, as a hairstylist, I just know behind the chair. So now I'm learning what it's like to actually choose the products, go to the manufacturer, and actually understand but I'm coming in as an artist. So I'm coming in as an artist and I'm understanding the value in these products, because I'm trying them firsthand. I'm trying them on my friends, my clients, my mannequins. And I'm like, wow, this stuff really works. But what's so beautiful about Hair Bar NYC is that it's actually affordable. Like apple to apple, their prices are slightly less than the top of the line products that you're already using. And you're going to get the quality is there. So we have a phrase in Spanish, bueno, bonito y barato. So this is like, it's in other words, affordable luxury.
Yeah. And we definitely need that, especially with living in South Florida. It definitely is not cheap down here.
Everything is this inflation, everything's going on. But one thing that hasn't taken a hit, especially since the pandemic, has been the beauty industry. I was secretly doing women's hair in my salon del garage when, the salon was closed down. I was taking my friends and family. My girls didn't go gray. If anything, I have the most TikTok content from the pandemic, because I had the most clients. They had nowhere else to go. They had to be loyal. They couldn't cheat on me.
Yeah. Very true, right?
All
That's
of them.
awesome. Yeah. And so for women out there that are, maybe working for somebody else and they're thinking about going out on their own, what were some things initially that you kind of had to do to make that transition so that you could still make money too?
So that was what I did initially was I worked with the photographers Monday through Thursday, because no one was getting their makeup. Makeup wasn't as big in 2001. So the only people that were getting their makeup done was professional headshot, real estate photos, video vixens. I was doing people changing their website, doing models' hair and makeup to change their website. And that was what was keeping me busy during the week. And then on the weekends, you had your special occasion, your brides. Everybody gets their hair and makeup done kind of Friday through Sunday. But to make that money during the week, and it had me in a studio setting. And once you put yourself out there, keep creating content, because I would get jobs. I wouldn't post anything really. I wasn't really advertising. I was just showing what I was doing, and people would, hey, do you have this job? Do you have that? Directors, photographers, videographers, drone girls, people telling me, are you available? Just because they were remembering my name because I was coming up on their feed. Stories wasn't a thing at the time. So just keep putting your content, even if you're creating content with mannequins, start with your friends, start with your family, do everyone's hair and makeup, whatever your nails, lashes, whatever it is, microblading blouse, do them all, post it. No one knows that those are your clients, your friends, your family. And it doesn't matter, because let's face it, I have a lot of friends and the majority of my friends are my clients. I pretty much do everyone's hair.
Yeah. And you always look so beautiful. So you're
Thank you.
a walking billboard as well. So I love that.
Thank you.
Let's switch topics a little bit and talk about more passion, right? I was telling you offline that I had an experience this week with someone who is autistic, and I haven't really been around someone who's autistic. I don't understand the behaviors. I don't understand much about the disease at all. So I would love for you to talk about kind of your passion behind that, what you're working on, and maybe teach us a little bit as well.
I started Empower Parents Autism. It's just what happened. It all kind of fell into place. Everything was available, and my IT guy told me to take it. And I was going to ask you if it was okay first, but I took it, and I basically did it. I tend to do things and then ask for forgiveness later. So autism. I have a 3-year-old who's autistic, and it's actually a neurological disorder. It's not a disease. So it's a neurological disorder in their brain, but so is ADHD, and so is people that are extremely depressed. So we wouldn't say that. So they call people that have a traditional way of thinking, they call them neurotypical. So my son is called neurodiverse. So when that gentleman was out there dancing in the rain, he's what they call stimming. So stimming is a form of expressing yourself with joy, So what I do is my son is temporarily nonverbal because he's gonna speak. And so he plays with his hands when he likes the song, and they'll clap and they'll flap their hands. We call it happy bird, or they'll walk on their tippy toes and we call it happy feet. So that was actually stimming. So when he was dancing in the rain and outside your door, it was a form of joy and expressing himself in a form of joy. So if you couldn't physically speak, and we couldn't have this conversation, you would have to find other ways to express all the different emotions that we go through. And so maybe an expression of anger, you could see someone who's autistic banging their head against a wall, and it looks like they're mutilating their frontal cortex, but they're frustrated. Maybe we'll bang our hand against, we'll slam a door or put our hand on the table and punch a table, but they deal with it differently. So it really is just a way of expressing themselves. So it's a neurological disorder, and it is permanent. It isn't anything that you did through pregnancy or that you did or didn't do, because I have 100% neurotypical 20-year-old and I have a neurodiverse 3-year-old, and I don't drink any alcohol. I detox before pregnancy. My son is 100% unvaccinated, so that debunks that stigma, and he's still on the spectrum. They don't like to say highly functional or not highly functional, but my son is highly functional in the sense that he does hold eye contact. He does say his letters and his numbers, but he's struggling to speak. I could see him physically stuttering, but I know he's going to speak because he's got a chatty patty like mom like me. So they're just delayed. So it's actually delayed. He's going to do things, but he's going to do them later. He'll be potty trained later. He started walking slightly later, not much. And everything they do is a little later. So we just need to have a little more patience and a little more grace, because this world, there's space for everyone, not just normal people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as a parent, I would think it would be, could be financially difficult. So how do you deal with the financial aspect of having a child that's autistic?
So the beautiful thing about actually the awareness and acceptance is, if you get your kid medically diagnosed by a medical professional and you have that sheet of paper that says this child is disabled, it opens up unlimited therapies for them. So at that point, my son goes to it looks like a daycare to you and I, but it's actually therapy. It's called ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis. And if you get him diagnosed, your insurance opens up unlimited programs, and then he's in daycare therapy Monday through Friday from 9 to 3, and it'll cost you a small fee, way less than any daycare is going to cost you. And also, I also found my son a scholarship from the age of 3 to 22 years old, and you can get up to $11,000 a year until they're 22 years old, and that will pay for any of their physical therapy, occupational, speech, ABA, anything that the insurance doesn't pay for, because it caps off, because they need so many things. So if we could just get our toddlers or our kids diagnosed sooner, before they go to kindergarten, and they're not potty trained and they kicked them out of kindergarten, they could have got 2-3 years of therapy at that point. If we could stop the stigma of, I don't want to label him, and our ego, or what we think that looks like, we think it's mental retardation. It's not, because everybody's very quickly to say, oh, I have anxiety, or I'm depressed. Well, do you have a neurological disorder? Because that's what it is. So if we could just get these kids diagnosed, that's going to open up unlimited programs for you. And it's essentially going to save you money, and it's going to save your family, because my family wouldn't be as intact dealing with these challenges on a day-to-day, plus working, plus issues with personal family, if I wasn't so diligent and adamant about getting through the acceptance phase, right? I was like, what is this? What do you mean he's autistic? Like, what are you talking about? I don't even drink alcohol. Like, what are you saying? I'm saying that he's different, and they knew that I was going to be the one to save grace and space, and I was going to deal with this with stride and pride. So I'm like, look, you see, I'm popular, pretty, my kid is gorgeous, he got the biggest blue eyes. What does autism look like for you? Because this kid has an invisible disability. So let's have grace. If you see someone parked at a handicap spot and he's not limping, they may be going through chemo. Let's not assume that we know what disability looks like.
I love that, bringing awareness. And that was kind of my thought process too. I mean, in the moment, it was scary for me because, a man is outside my door, and perhaps, maybe he just needed to go to the bathroom or something. He was trying to get inside from the rain. But I could see him kind of dancing around, and I didn't necessarily feel threatened, but you don't know because they don't understand, what that means and how they might react in any situation. And I do have my concealed weapons permit. And in that moment, you always think, are you ready to trade someone's life if you're in fear, or is there another way for you to approach a situation? So I'm thankful that I made the decision that I did because I didn't know who that person was. So I think raising awareness and understanding that, you're doing what you can to help your son be the most functional, most contributing person to society by getting them, the therapy that is right for them to help them in what they need. And we can't understand that. I can't understand that because I'm not autistic and I haven't had to go through that. So I commend you for bringing that awareness.
Thank you. And you were rightful to be nervous because it almost seems like they're missing a pain chromosome because they have a very high pain tolerance. So someone once warned me, don't teach him any martial arts because he can possibly choke you out because he doesn't understand what he's doing. He has this strength. Even when he goes to kiss me and he goes to be affectionate, he kind of chokes me out. And I'm like, okay, gentle with girls. You want to be gentle with girls. Pretty girls are soft kind of thing. And he doesn't understand his own strength. So rightfully so, you do want to kind of take a step back, because sometimes the level of their illness, you really don't know how far they are. So you just kind of want to protect yourself, take a step back and do what you did and call authorities to take care of them, because that is a strength that you would not be able to handle and you would have to protect yourself. And then you would feel terrible because, at that point it's just self-defense and you weren't aware. It's not like he was walking around with something that says, like my son has something on his book bag that says, if I'm lost or I can't speak, be gentle with me because I have special needs.
Oh, that's very nice. I love that too. All right, Camille, if our audience wants to get in touch with you, learn more about your beauty services and or learn more about your passion project with autism, how do they find you?
You can find me on hairbarnyc. Well, it's Camille at hairbarnyc.com. And also on their Instagram, I answer their Instagram messages directly, and you can get either, if you're a licensed artist, then you can get wholesale products and you can get retail products, and I can guide you to both things. So just go on hairbarnyc.com, contact us. It's actually Hair Bar NYC Professionals on Instagram, and I'll send you the link so you can put it below. And that's exactly where you're going to get affordable luxury. And treatments like this are going to last you months on end, because we know that the blowout is the woman's secret weapon. Like, we got something to do, we go get our hair done, and it's good for days on end.
Yep.
So, and besides that, I also have things to reconstruct your hair so that we can kind of heal it from the inside out.
Amazing. I very much appreciate your time today. Thank you for being on Empower Her Money podcast.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your success as well.
Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.